dia mejeso ene abena pokua when ama akwa babiem
Medasimi niava.
But yes the kind vice president ne hoye
Pachone hoye pa.
Ne hoye ye de radia say na ne office no the past 7 months you said the ho adudu no kakra amana kwa be sabosome ne akire she's back or ye najuma the office no what have you been up to all this while?
Oh, nyama ni de Dwaso. It's nyama bebre, you know. Ewo vice president's office. Edi kind make sure you know with you for and I made that was sense so you know for this opportunity. Masaya Sir say forgive me say interview we chesa. And so last week when Anke was say but Cape Coast.
Matias
you know my main say nyama ni de bebre yesha see ye appointee appointments na ye call vice president's office kwa na show visioner ye man paying ewo edema office na ye wono so besha your policy advisors you know for economy your policy advisors for finance your policy advisor for social sector your policy advisor for politics until a show baby ade no eko yen fe no nto nchen since I started ye ABC ne debia ye busy day e debia ne dia ye woye you know inti no metimi aka say amemo no de se de Ghana fo nyina ni tua se de eko yi no eye collaborative teamwork so ka se me pipe mu na me ncho nti wo fa ne sector by sector na ne yakono chronologically they make an automatic because free say ye start ye juma ebesi na de make us a rest de bi me say my ye ma mini home pono say nya ne pe say na oni ho ahoden ana oni sa time na no kra no still ne ye juma pepe ye call in those times you too quite perhaps every weekend your Volta your Central your in cinema ni de I just say papa mu mama na fe minso ma papa mu mama
it is you breaking it down na you nim activities say the waboso no Dwaso but yes ni role as a vice president e was so ye ya na won nam obeku hunu obi achi obi ka o as she's at the back in una office on hunu ni sa
oh she's at the back dear say emremu sa na wose eba no oman no wo omanpain odi enim he's at the front ono ne vision ni ono ne nisuade hu ne yina edi ye adwuma nti dia ono kan no ne dia oye ne yina ye role ye adwuma ene se ebeboa na dia ono pese oye ne ye nti me madam de her excellency professor Nana Jeno Pokwajiman de bia oka o se na adwuma edi kan ne se obeye the best pair of hands and some you know the most capable beboa o manpain vision nti o manpain e di anim odi nechi on to mean di anim o manpain di nechi nti no podo mi obi kan ha me because really no there was a banner so pepe na was a banner na ye there no to nchen na afi ye ka say she's at the back in terms of baby I was so original when echi no wakọ na echi say inside na ho de make say masa space na hwe ni because e bi ni gina no em say wetintim ni na ho pa
okay nti project ankasa say we saw the back or support the president no yana as a vice ne bi wo agenda bi say me hwe say ono akoye ma na e ma so ani da ne so no beka say mo project bi amasha say na say in future mo share towards my yedie say ehontotoye bibi sa wo ho
absolutely bebre sa wo ho de di kan emma me women's development bank
okay
eno na me di kan right me di kan because eno na da amampani abedi echi sane ka no
so no
eno na da na koma so pa de bia me ka say amamo and started day na we need power no amamo ne started unam campaign so nyina dia wokan dia edewa koma so obeya amanfo in terms of women's development bank no ye kan ho asem bebre na mani gie simetna ha ka say ye tu anamon seriously so be kaya the first budget we deny ye no ye allocate sikebi Edema Women's Development Bank. No cray woman says Esicano. And so because so by a bank, no, we are looking for in excess of over 400 million. And you bet me the but sky janums 51 million was but at least no, it's me the start preparatory steps. They are saying yeah, they boa
okay.
I train papa na ebano. So see I kase working committee wo a omuhia yeshia mami kase yeshia because nyame adom baby me meet ejuma me me ntimi nya opportunity etna some meetings ne mu bi ntimi nim say some meetings ne far advanced ye bank all stakeholders ye Bank of Ghana share ye other banks ye commercial bank share ye market women market queens ni na so monam your office when ye omuhia susu debtors collectors ne ade ye omuhia traders associations ne ade ye obi share because ade na ye no ye ama amanfo enye se wo betina baby adwen se me ne se mo obi aneye ese nipa na aba no bet sure se na me hia no me ka madam ese wote mase me patche her excellency professor na jeno pokwajema dear dan ma me ka se ye maame em se no ye better ye maame adis a vision
na ni
swade hu for bank na o ye ne another commercial bank and I say another bank e wo ho ono na pe bibia e betimi e dia build capacity ama emma attitude abina emma bebre ho no ma obewra banking ho kwa anything kakra because you're intimidated by building and how imposing the building itself is intino e maybe intimi nra bank e maybe kwa enya facilities because okokwe ye beka say fa collateral bra fa we bra no be guarantee ma sa nyema ye no be ye nka ni so baby a ope sika kakra bi e dia ton kwadu ana o baby ope sika kitu e bi aton enkatie you know emma bebre ho they fall through the cracks paper so nhihye ya no omunnim ukasa wo ma emma of a certain class of a certain caliber sika they won't fall within sub brackets into omo pa mwetiti ene da ye maame akoma so a opese ohwomo with the Women's Development Bank say de be ya sikan kiti bia e bia wo ne me enye bibia ma anka obi fufo na yesika kese ma na nko betimi e de aso ne ho so ahwe ne ho ahwe ne ma ahwe fi ahwe man no na yenya sika no e de ama no ho a paperwork near where you must then quiet tin so they one of traditional banks den mama baby to me assess no near training na near to me abua all classes of women okay bia betimi access it facility ntino enye bank ya mama bank ye nema. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, mama. So yeah, baby, you know, your name money.
So they are involved.
Absolutely.
Now, yes, you know, some March 11 budget. Finance Minister de was money about Jano. Omo allocated 51.3 million Ghana cedis for women banking no. And now kasisi kano isano. But obibe say consultation saying any komu before this allocation na. Oh,
it is say abna menka allocation ne enye
but enye enough
obetu anamombia wunya dia na meka asase me say preparatory stages wunya sike bi e de asset up nti ye the way ebe tutu niema yi ube set up commission ube hwe your friend is saying feasibility studies ube hwe ebia we build ni ade but to set up a bank, no, there are mandatory requirements. The minimum amount of sika will be here. Edia setting up bank require 400 million. And you na make Ghana books nature. What I say? It is all these structured requirements. That's a 51 million. And now to me who say, and so now so a chassis. Yeah, the best chassis. Also no ebia eno na be makasa bebre na ye kasa na be hu a way to go around some of these things what I say bibia ya adwentre e ya adwento ato a so bibia ye betimi aye de hia na de wose ye ne yetimi enti sika na me metra ha me ka say ne kwan no e sika ye de be papa kwan ma hwe ehu se de wose ye ye betimi aye
de enti ma me ekọ back and say unse finance minister was specific say a seed fund Awomode Emma and se wofa Google ntimu kra keke what a seed fund is Omawo etiasie it is an early investment made in a business.
Thank you.
To generate capital.
No.
So atiasie
early investment
to generate capital.
Early investment say seed aba wudia amane efifia beye eduamu into no seed capital exactly. I don't know what the fa seed no aba no na would ahye na benyiya beye kese into yesum 51 million yesum ye de beye seed
na me pesa metiasie the consultations are a course before this amount was announced.
Abna me who confusion. So what try me confusion? No ma clear confusion na. Cause consultation need to set up anything. Forget a bank. To set up Adom FM, we need seed capital to start. But says can if I won't do a tree. What the best start it? And so nya do ba ko do.
Ntino nature say bisika sembia allocation bia beba media budget review so abako yante ho asem
enti bank
meba wadaroma enti we expecting say ye benya any announcement biem anase any allocation na nature say next year ni ye behunu se bia say ye the 51 way eto nchen aban allocate sika we budget ni be capture just next year budget redeem ana
debi o ye invest kan into nchen scan ye di bo adwuma.
I know but it is not enough.
Ye guso aye bo adwuma na chese nka ye nyina ye mpa e bo nye se adwuma na aye bo no e be ban for some e bia na ye adwuma na aso ani ama ya yetimi generate ya de kwansa next budget reading na baba bedu
amobeda generate
ena me se yembo ho pa me ne umi enu ayese he
yem so I know but we better what are the plans
adwuma se me scan ye di ye adwuma kasa akoso se scan ye sum se scan say yes seed capital how dey be generate atwa wani so nti se scan na we sum no wodi ye adwuma ena wodi ye adwuma in anticipation say emfa so beba ho asen dia na wadwen kra kyerɛw
nti fully no Ghana for expect say da ben na ye behunu say de say preparatory works amoye ni nyina no ye hunu say afedie Women's Bank na Vice President Semane Bono abetena say ye adwuma ye mai ho how many years
bank ne de me shebo e wa Adom FM ha enne se bank ne de baso yesterday baso live and colored
daben
baso
daben
but you can say I know my limited
o de obetumi aka for no I will assist with you
baso nanso no bibia ye se dia wototo wo niema se dia wo hyehyɛ no se dia wo hu no me meka se ehu hia ye ma me kwa sen ye nyina ehia ne payade a ede na koma so se nke onu de onya ya nka ye enekra na je bank ne hyehyɛ so aye koye ni ma no nti no Ghana fo nya rehye mu se de we ede na koma so no etwemre no enko wa bebre
nti at least ye by end of next year
when they say eva
nse muna mo toto ne ma no nti at least wetumi aka say we are 10% into ehuntoto ye we are 20% nti ye nyina ida ye hwanim because ye nyina so ye digwa bi aside say ye had ma ye kase yi ye san so edija nti ye ba bebo obia nti we are anticipating say be bantem how soon
very soon
as in how many months now from now
maka say ye ma me kwa de onya ya nkende ene yi kwa na nka bank ni ye adwuma nti wo de aka makoma to yem ehu hia ne sen wo abna
mate
o tu hu mreka gidigidi nti wo de nya boche but na wo de adwen pani akoma pa
of course na yeshe market enhancement program ya vice president ekase womo ebeye they will revitalize your market centers nti under some program we no and na mo de be hye ye dwa hodo a wo across Ghana a state wo ene ho entoto ye nti ma mimi sa initiative we no masase anase munya fa mo sankan
once ye maame ebie nano a waka ho asem die ene me sister na we say bo aboso na who say Ghana for I see that it's in the pipeline I say so who say it's in the pipeline
but masa who bibia se na
me momu de bia me ka say me ko kan o baby say obi si why so better want to my kind of sympathy for me. Patrick so be no be see sister enye sabu na ne de kan say we bo we yes ni friend is your better boabo wa na ne nine SCBB so enu nie aban we aban a eye market e wo Ghana ha 20 market ben a efe a edimu e wo krom ha enye NDC aban na ye nti sa aban we aye bi pen aban ka kire wo se me revitalize market unka se me be building market cry building no cry build esi ho story building market cry what time we see ho we could crazy ho nti ko just me revitalize market and say utu adwum ka na ukoda because ya aban a aye bi pen dem make no what say we nya aban a abehye boa wendi so waka say onti ene na me yam hyehye me aban we ya aban o ka just say me nua meto boa bo na just say wo say wo pepe be na wo dwane fa because rock and an Nigerian so no nti me sister ha ho
because we say when we nyina your promises are vice president na kasa emaye it is say say obey accountable na bia wa anane promises are these are the benchmarks are yɛde ebe rating ne sɛ sansama wo kan yɛyi how war na mutumi de yɛ adwuma na ne impact on omo ano mo be benefit no ɛyɛ because yɛ ka market enhancement no a na ɛbɛboa local economies no to a point of crisis bia market woman kra ɛkɔ no kita kwada obenya ba bi kra within market ho de akwada no agya ne nyina nte adwuma no so
say me market say me broke akra because adwuma no kra wo ya ama me
entesa adwuma no so nti ama
and no impact of building markets dear sister e betina ha e be calm and action adwam ena eye the source of your livelihood nipa bia say ube sorry enya hoden anantie tu anamon aye adwuma I enjoy your life it's me I live it to your fullest potential ne de na ya hoden na hoden an free hin eba e duane aye de koya no ensu aye de koya no na no yenya wahi edwam inti so bia ka so odwin edwa die ho asem ne edwam asem na just say nipa no odwin obia ho ka obia odwin your individual growth and our dream your collective growth your national growth your national economy intermediate that is the source of development or kono and a chance into so see or by revitalizing market the NHS sister and so you da na yada because
but mon chance enti mama says 7 months in ye e de na ma beka say vice president office no aya ye beka say what have you achieved so far?
Yes, starting free. The national I mean paper for can be brave.
Don't worry.
Yes, starting free. Say your vice president, your professor, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opokwajima. Yes, starting free ho. Say ne Ghana for. He kasa mum from vice president mra. Mami way and it's me ko yin the bejina ho say vice president. Me no cry number one achievement, mami. Yes, yes, starting free ho.
But that achievement is an achievement of all Ghanaians. Of course.
Me say esi me bo ho pa nti say obi mfa ne sense ni bo na just me cheat no. Me sisiu because me dey me enjoy sa you know perhaps more than anybody else. Who hear me pa. Say you betimi aka say your vice president ni ma me a oni ma de bu ade e de obuo ni grace eba leadership. Ye ko Namibia time I swear in almost first female president. Na just say nanga so who may walk inside no because yes so Ghana ye ban yes the first female vice president ebai. Na just say ye ka Africa ha ni you know the world over politics e kra ana amanya omo sophisticated me who the way I mean best make so many bias it's a little but omo sophisticated omo see maybe a globally politics kwasi and just a Ghana ye ka ho ya ba yenim
okay
inti no me and no cry major achievement e ma me say the kind of leadership ye ma media ba amamu the way she speaks the way she moves say or yenene say or yenene ma cry for me a dignified grace bia or dia ba into your national politics and no ye for me the biggest and perhaps strongest you know achievement ene waye nanso dia wo kan no ye nyina ye dia ene ye nyina dia de be ho ahwae ho de be koyenim nso there's more to it ye make sanitary pads enne abena free sanitary pad for every a school going a primary to GSS meboa sanitary pad project e da ye ma mekuma so enye ne temo ye education minister eno ko fa asasem Ghana for strength so be kai ya nte na se na o kire yen say education for boys and education for girls na enya de kro enyema ubeyama be ma obeku school nya the full potential of na this year ni ma obeyama oba obenya the full potential of na this year no different even the number of days our baby spending in a classroom because of menstruation no na at the end of the month we calculate so you 7 days ne fisa man ma kan he no ne nua na danfo be ma no esua ade ma mu no ma the same level akọ manim pepepe sanitary pad nti e ma bebre nti mi nko school e wo Ghana ha sanitary pad nti last na me interview so many years ago maybe 2 years ago na me interview MPB Volta region e ma ne ba ko e no ka cham say ama me ni obaby tina classroom e na sebe o say ne ho siri o musiri ni nti no friti sada no she never stepped foot in the classroom again wan ko bium e mo si besi da na on meet studio mu ho na yes interview no ono na every man bia no pe kakra ma no e ma mienu the same circumstances the same school head omo penny yemu beye ba ko beye MP nanso ba ko betena asema say MP ne hwe no adentia menstruation entia no enne senyame adom aban wetimi supply free sanitary pads ema every girl ko school for me that achievement no ho there's economic value to it but there's just the human dignity value I deba ye ntimi mfesika emfamfa ntosade no eno ye major achievements
okay
yenko yenim
but with sanitary no mo be distribute mo de be mama ya no every month anase mo kwa mo ma wo 12 in a row say yenim say the whole year no at least 12 times ebeba mo say na mo che no
it's been
I want to understand
out meti hey me dem me penokre nim nukre no means me enye very specific say every school in every region no the same standard of distribution is cutting across me kasa na man kan because I wouldn't have that specific information
with the
but
feel you have no
yeah meti me ahwehwem na ya bebo ho komasa na me no de si ayehie de yehia ya ne ayenua
because once I am office there I feel say bia enka also my hu the road map no say because ukoma no baako ukoma no mienu say nefa say this month poni asase na ukoma no sanitary pad mienu a obi ane said you to be ko 4 days obi ko 5 days yenim de wo mu nti ye ma no de beso mo for the whole year na next year san ko hyase ana ye ma no 2 months a ye wie ye betena se ye se ya chepa da wie me one wo use wie no the next month no want me enko school so what is the way forward
and no ne de metime aka say Ministry of Education na yes distribution and yeah Vice President's office na yes distribution
but it is your achievement
oh of course it is a collective achievement in fact I wo crab na wo achievement we Ghana ni nti ye nyina ya achievement yakoye nim o mine akonenim inti no metimi aka say specific distribution ne de Ministry of Education na ye in terms say you obi Ministry of Education metimi I shine say ne and but so far abena say ya che na nso obi so anka wate you see bad news travels faster than good news you see hey say ya che ama na nso obi so ana obi nya bi and at the end of the month obi nsanka bia abena game say you betina hey social media da roma kaba na nko obi aye video ma ya to say hey asem no mbeka aye no o ma ntimi anye nanso no entisa
okay
eni die ni ade nyina ye nyina ye hu se de aye kɔ no ma me mfa no ntu nchen
okay
member school feeding a project ya ye abna emre bi atwemu a ntwemu enche bebre in a very recent history a very recent past de bia secretary suni de bia secretaries TNT na yentu aye kawo na ye de yenkawo na you know we ye ene se sika ni nyina yetua I'm a necklace here, my school, uncle school, and my common. Me say recently, I saw a video. Well, not recently, in the past. Me who video, ma maybe a free the fee. I got na ne ba secondary school no ma me na ye dwane ma ne ba na ne ba ni because school na akra ne kono. Ye mom me dwane momundi. Nsem we nyina. It's in our past. Etwem budget na ye no. You say we will give. It has been given. Social interventions, they may say me better na have beka mekani be brave. But no say, ye ma me say or you can say fiduciary responsibility for all of these social interventions and all of these social services ne dear. Eko ye no. Na ye da sector ministers na se no. Ni akai say ye ma minute ano o make sure say Ghana ma any Ghana nkola ya sitting mu asesa and by extension no obia so wo ba wo school na so won dream na adwane obedi anopa wie anwumre ho na so at the end of the month pad or de be ko ne ho de no podi aban agye fi won sa wo ba wo university na so o start so ko university na no fee stress underroomment that initial payment na ban I absorb ya na me say na make say wo hwe video na students na eligibility o meni agye o mo tientie mu ni ade na so no imagine how the parents are feeling. Senkwara no mani agi de say na mamefo ne papafo no mu no na cha say emze omu behusi inti no make say social interventions in the bebre now so na ya kai that sector that finance minister say for his prudent economic management that education minister say for how fast he's been able to implement some of these policies that gender minister say that we say that ni kai say at the heart of all these social interventions no mami Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman.
And say if it is an achievement our vice on me pardon it now so because me also no bia with the background say me your bar na yenya so no growing up no yenya such experiences ni be at a point no yana me hu ni say it's in the right place say mo betu sana mono but say ye bibia a vice president ne yem ana ni di akire na say minister of education and na SP heading po ehwe distribution na update ben na monya so far you fan say regions ben and distribution no adru how many enkwada and nasa distribution ma benefit regions ben you are yet to say mo be follow up say woman sa ebe come there is it across Ghana and asa if you abena
sorry abena na yes PBB asovia na was a problem bi wo nti a ye boho no what am I say say me gina ha na me bo ade we kukukuku na say me say bibi wa henti na me bo no me pe answer bi patcho problem bi wo ho a ye solve ya na patcho da make an what am I say
me too
sanitary pad ya announce see ye roll out me call roll out ceremony me anam kwotena ayi kwotena se bi ehwe de mani hu bi
and now we na ekosen
and no na make sure say to the best of my knowledge, to the best of your knowledge, the best of every Ghanaian's knowledge, you're rolling it out. Emma, it's being implemented. So you because me san can be now saying, hey, Emma, when I must see as much as sanitary pads. Addressing in san can be and there's a problem we are solving. So see, I'm presuming who's a problem being and yes, solve it. Issue being the confusion being why I was here solve it. It was sanitary pad issue now. Then we can solve it together. No.
And I just wanted to understand, say, morally out.
Yes.
The monitoring. Didn't you, mame, Gina Hodmache, say, what out to say, your achievement?
Yes, absolutely.
How come, say, an achievement as some way, na, yes, Sabna be jaso, na me jaso. Now, be some say, Diana, Obeka say, Oba, so no, what to me, ye. Ebia betumi direct you to some videos are coming out of these videos akọ yenya impact yenya so say esemoye mamona o tell to say achievement you should know all this say region where you cover. So far you distributed this number of ebia sanitary, even though the education ministry na but akoye general na say do malonche we
money
near chebim.
And I'm sure said there's a sector minister yena said dia or sheso.
But
there's an institution and
also some information
and commit me information.
So why didn't you get it?
So akoye say uti here uti Accra Adom FM awukase. Yeah, other affiliate stations across the nation omo carry their moye.
Of course.
Wukasa wa hey Accra hey. Other regions of how omo ti woni enim dia woye.
Exactly.
So bisa say abena uti hey. Koforidia. Baby omo ti onipa ahi na etie usisi a. Can you give me that information?
Analogy we know and related to the
exactly
no,
that.
It's not.
Oversight responsibility for something. And Pacho, hold on. Mami, you are no.
Oh, Miss
Abna, mami, you are no.
What can I say?
Hold on, I mean you are no. Not just in your communication. I hope I am. My young
Me too.
Override responsibility. I will be one. A override responsibility for a reason. The ability to delegate and to trust. Independent what delegating at the end man is on by itself is a leadership quality. Me say sector ministry I handle the day-to-day management. Education ministry. Me say education ministry.
Updates.
Me PRO for education ministry. She say who person common na babna for education ministry. Minute by minute. You can say blow by blow accounts.
But
how it's going.
Updates. As to how it. So where is the update?
Enti nanka wo frem se membeka say wo ka chem say ama wo be ye beka sanitary pad ho asema beka distribution schools are akọ how many students have benefited can me bank information bia ho bia bebre wa hana pe wonim se komo we na ye bebo no nanka wo frem no say ama wo ba no kai hu me bisa wo sanitary pad project ho asem into foul information, bra.
But
I'm buy, and I just say, no me bomb 200 students in the western region, 600 students in the eastern region.
Una was say, bro, a yam achievement. I'm a wood baby a yebano. Una was say a yam achievement. That is why I make a send ye be anaka obe what sadie bibi saying you
na. It's information I can get in hand to you. And yes, can best baby libasa points we.
That's fine. Yabeko ye many ama Pratt na edin komo or vice president officer or no ene kasa emano. Inti ye share ebia watwe che na opese hunu die vice president office no eye ene ni dwumadi hu koma ena yebo ewa no. Na ma me yebre no ekwa ne sa. Mami fa we emra na me clarification. Best last 2 weeks last week. Yetiti nsem bebre se abrante ba kubia obey a topic for discussion the whole of last week concerning Supreme Court ruling bi ba ye ewe ho nsem no before the Supreme Court no kra no na aye hu so yeso abedru Ghana o medru Ghana Katie Kevin Taylor menya specific and people were running with this narrative say obedru Ghana krompo no vice president fie
na vice president fie
exactly ehona mo house no
kosi se vice president fie I'm say that's the end of the matter onti vice president fie
na only vice president ho
abna onti vice president fie
ntote
na me dem yede hu bioti
but sansam na na no moti bidie
oh say ne yina ya Ghana ha
so why did you choose not to respond?
Oh, abna yes bia beti bia never respond and say this think yankwa adwuma
so
oh sister na dia uti bia na respond abna
so me menya aban dwuma aban tu ya meka
and no nti say me waste aban mere what you say minim say menya adwuma in my personal capacity na me ye adwuma in this most important capacity nti na say me waste aban mere na me waste wo mere ese me de wo mere ye adwuma papa ni bibia na me di etri
because such a serious allegation now modern to vice president so say well how say in their words or how say obi a court penalty no omo no SEO vice president office and the ma na nkrofo keka no cry sambe ye asebe be call over the roof no your point you hunu say wa post the vice president a picture any ade and you saw say sanseminya na omoka a enye no crepe de wo ka no pay edit to the vice president so na muye din say omufa narrative no enkosa to say ye ni ameka say na what clarify say na on the vice president office na ye the best
almost vice president fi abena menu wo Ghana ha ena ye ma me yare kakra amafo kan aka say ye ma me ewu nyame mpengu
amen
wanti bi wote ma no ye bu man o si ye ka se ye reset Ghana eya na eni braba o bebia o man no akwakodu no tukura akwakohyemu no wo se ye yere ye ho boy ya bosso twi free ho ma Ghana finance papa fra no eni bebia na edi etire we are focused on rebuilding, resetting
on
this
record,
country.
On record, that branch said no on ni mama fee.
Me patrol on si mama fee. Ni on mama neti.
Ba oba wa chiano.
Oh, asembe nkre nia abena. Obe chiano.
Me bisa me nka so wa chiano.
Hey, patrol mba office ho.
Mate na ya beto aso nti say achievement abo boss we no obosi sanitary parts no obetumi ato aso amame
umami opportunity na
of course pato akonya da ho to aso mame
nti no metimi aka say sisiano your national security agencies no ya mame netiano as the first female chairperson enukra mame arechichire se Ghana ni ba se Ghana nkola baby a man ko hoda wetimi ewera de bi oka se nyese oba na akwakoduru ho break glass ceiling nko keke so you hold the door open so be dina to ho ama obi etimi afem enne Ghana ha ye ka vice chancellors e wa ha e ma vice chancellors abebiri means me bonwe why na da no why na your ba odi kan e fa asa dan nim ya ma me na ye inti no for me nso so no that also gives me encouragement and no crime small achievements say na oba and it's security agencies na no and na okot na no obi kan asem kosen it's always saying Rebecca girls health girls education so can wasem bebre dada soft diplomacy and strategic engagements
they breaking it down
oh and it's when it's here Ghana nye in fact there's no country independent of itself our no kwa sini baby say no kwa baby a wiase ne ko no se ubetimi ebu man no ebu ni yi a I just say ye nyina iso yensa a global community uhia obi a owonim die a obetimi navigate the very sensitive area of diplomacy na so far die o my ben enema mechi aye ma me ne mekasai since obey vice president obi aba metimi aka say Israel aba metimi aka say Palestine aba and metimi aka say kasa a oni every faction, every side, and for me, these are the kinds of some soft power, but the real power. Waiting the mandate, no mandate. I demand
but
yeah, man, mandate say. The American notice vice president.
And
the Jumana, the man is saying, no.
Until Bibeka says diplomat seba ebechia vice president as in the office as a vice president ama obetumi classify no as an achievement.
Mekasa mankasa visits in the achievement.
So what exactly? Because I was say na
me couch ni say in this global community ayina ye woman you will need obia to navigate the sensitivity of diplomatic relations, which is what she's doing. So far,
but has there ever been a vice president I want to navigate this idea working?
Any Mijama Ghana for any Kotuaba. Ghana for any Kotuaba, and any Yaba Nebetre, Ubi Utimi and Nubia wins me and Yamenameka.
Matter here, anyway.
No, any Missy a women's health Namaka Sem Dada, leadership and resilience.
Women's health, and
oh, some maka menstrual, hygiene, education, school feeding, maka wasem. Me political leadership and resilience. I'm say starting when I'm you know, amambo na efe uti na wo hwa ya rechitre the way hu ya himfu any omo relate kasa me post picture bi say Saturday ye call Cape Coast say before I call commander na Queen Mother baako abna me picture ne betro said dia e ma mienu no ya kan say ya oma eso mumu abata omumu hwenife say there's a commonality of say enye kasa bia na ye kasa yen kanokra no ano den say dia ye sometimes communication is in the silence,
okay.
Right? And de bia me ka say nyame na ye adom binti and metimi di echire enjoy these types of moments and nyame adom yetimi so capture e magana fo nyina these type of engagements and these type of connections hu hia a mind bi e wo baby a metimi aboba ko di America. Yeah, it's the American spirit, you know. Obi American, you born akuma me American, you know. And Sanya Maniamano, unspoken, soft. Now so it's everything. And the ma obi timi jam bi say me timi aye bibia, me hu odin. Me work capability, me timi aye bibia, and these fundamental important things no. Ye be Lucy e Ghana ha. And for me, no yama me de sa and nyama ni na babak. That feeling of connectedness, say wunti minti, say relatability, obuo, say uche peni mu buo, uche akola buo hu ohene a, do ye ni ohene interact. See we hu papa peni mu. De we anin be kasa.
Okay.
Nyina. Ababium abagana habium ni nyina
na dibu ni Ghana
sister
na dibu ni Ghana tse mo bayana
adibu
na dibu ni Ghana
na yehu sie ka cha ahemfu so mo sorry nchia wo yehu bi da da Ghana for we are cultural people ye want to say Ghana ye man a ye bumpanyfo ye de oboni ani die etu bibia wo se ye de to Sanya mani nyina ya memu ha se amanfo elusi omo livelihood ensuo afa a whole community na yese mo anto abenti no ye mfi mu eye kasa ne amemu a e de ye kofom because se me president nwe me ho a me meri oban ne ho
okay
se ensuo fa me dan na se wo na would see the apex of leadership and found who me na me fa mine ho me na me de me responsible citizen
okay
into all of these things might seem soft but this is where it's at so we bumaya nipa ni feeling the attitude of the average Ghanaian for the average Ghanaian to feel connected to what is happening, to see grace, to have respect, to have love, to be dedicated to a common agenda. For me, these are the achievements.
Mate, on that note, somewhere last week, and yet is accident see ewo Dwaso Junction area honum binim sawatia nkwara de wanyi wo mu 25 years. Diosa ewo 15 years. Enipa 17 na ewuye ewo accident nim ama for the first time a Ghana vice president Emra Masbury ekoso ewo bogu till sakwanhie ne siye Emra Masbury akoso yente hwe
Inti at least
vice president office as a mother Sunday abotre nyabotre mami land no nyabotre mami ama me bisa wasem say nanka bibi be say wo ho anase sinto biba senka bibi sabe ba kwatete o mo
fe se mo me nambe nanka bibi say si obi alert me abena ye nyina ye bu man yo ena minya yanka maso wo babia meni wo babia nanso eni mienu na mewo aso mienu pe na mewo abena o dream say ye ma meti asem we ya ntinka by na nka ntinka wonte nenka anyem o mi abena wo gidi wo akome musa wo ma me ye maame ye nyina me no mienu ye maame atasem we ntinka onka sai Into time I would see a chunk I won't try so on Cassan and think I would prompt ya Blankenye.
And war me ho debrief, but Mejidi said, yeah, but Kwame Bisa concerning Kevin Taylor, say, Wabedam Fee, Vice President in the few not in the Sunday, I would say,
yes.
So, and I will be surprised. So, Kasako and see, Yabo minim radio station, TV station, can want some.
And radio, my radio the whole day.
Even on social media since last week.
Oh, sister, Menyesa.
Nti Vice Ante, one tea, money.
Patron me bounty, what in Osion Casa.
Media minima some na me bisa.
Oh, Menyesa.
My head, Yama, meaning the
and I made sure say, that time now would it see and now would it to how would they train a dear Casamuntino, cow prompty and Kebe Boyina. And only a friend resets in this country, no say yin na yen kaise. Ghana ne kuye ma yenina. And kuye me bimo yin an yetim. A coboni ma yenina, a copa ma yenina. Okakoto for them is also in Pepina and also in NDC. Then she said, yeah, price bakuna ni never hakoto. No, yen for some personal responsibilities. Mine or mine bona ye bono. And nana make was about, connectedness. And the feeling of owning or mine. Which is why I started by saying, look how here missing Bibia. See a bet say edia. Amemona ebunu enye bimudi anye bimuna ebu yenyina ebu. We all have a responsibility to do it right and to get it right.
Yeah bre ya so nti on that note no te said ya mebo so ya wose manti a obi anso andro more attention to it no obekan obekfa ne se ankoye e wo mo side ana
me fa ne se ankoye wo your side
maybe sir
enye your side me mefa personal responsibility for it.
Saying,
and yeah, mammy, and I be mena. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Me have personal responsibility for that. But like I'm saying, I am only a human being with 2 eyes and 2 ears. Minya and Ankam was 6,000 years. And Anka region be a to be a masobeti. Many behu. And so unfortunately, I am limited because of my humanity. Some ye human being in Kwadi. Obi and draw my attention. I'm here. Abna, Miss Matcher and Rafi and Pakopima and Judia me. Me see radio man TV. Nse bibiesia minya yanka meti nyeni nana meti enso nka bna wo ye minia bai anka wo pega na yi nka wo hu ye no prompt me ama bibi se si wa ha
into the vice president office no any team at least or monitor some of these things because yet me hu say bi wo no ma last week and run no mokoye masberia yet me hu bibi kra to me cover ankwara e cross e kwan ma e catch president attention e free eastern regional minister say baby ankwada no munye bridge ma wom nti asem kakra say yesi we ne see ato man no me see de wanyini ye 25 do so 15 years. In fact, mobo pa ena opportunity ama may use opportunity way. I extended your condolences ama all the affected families. Ni amomo yako. Maka samubeti ya mamenka. Mate, ya mame yare ye de ya mini CJ show you so. Ya bompa ye esese ne hontono. Ye oma no mo keka nsensem bi abobo so memo so ye kan ya dwenche bi mu pa. Yama me hoto no awoba obedru ye ho sembe ye bebre adentia private jeta ye chata ye ede no ba ye kofo chese omani sika nka betuma ye bibi no na ye ma meje pene egigi dem no no nkwa de ne ebesi Ghana na enkofo ntia se die ntia because nyema bia na nka mema ne be ye no the expectation of oban ne say ye de so konkra beka se de bisasika no ye betumi de ye bibi foforo enti mesrewo sam na e ba ye no de no beka che Ghana for it
abna mesrenga person ye de no ba akoyare abna wo mame me wo mame wo mame fo mpanimfo mo abrabom se de meso me obi mama te he last year mama yare pa papa so yare pa
which at play man
onya aboy private individual onye o mining nyina dia we o mining nyina this is a vice president and you be home insi no we dem so me bisa wabnantin ka onya den nka omra
but was that the only option
there be yen kan ye
maybe say was that the only option say you bet chat private jet man so on famra
me ti hey me nye sure say chat private jet
nti ye the flight ben or the buy
you see I come in kwa podi ankasa nkomo we podi enkite absolutely irrelevant. And Kashi, the trust say until we can prove say Bonibia bibia teach and then bisa say in every communication no yes solve a problem being in was uncommon. Me see me problem I they solve
problem nana the cost involved, the taxpayers money involved there. Ye de efa a whole flight. Emma ye ma Mr. Womra ebia.
Me nim se chartered flights no dey buy.
Inti a flight men no dey buy.
Say dia me hu ye no dia won susu hu ye na ye hu ye no. Eye friend is saying a flight e be see yeah what do you call it? The way to kwan dey be
Why?
Drive ye mama private travel arrangements ye man dey be no be na hu say you know she had come in mean to me interest say ye ko chata you can say private jet near any buy. I am being very reluctant, you know.
Is it the case that me too.
Any information beyond me, I better have a kind of sorry. I also have, you know, there's responsible communication. There meets me actually say, at the end of the day, the vice president of this republic, Ayari. Ewiase na ye wo mu no ye nyina ye nya yanka obi nyare ye nyina ye nya yanka se dia ya hoɔden ti free si ye wo yen sa hoɔden na na nke di benya kwa kodru yare po de onim akwalo onim peni onim abobo onim obia etimi tu obia at any moment de bia meka wo na ma mpae keke na wo bɔ mpae because wo nim de ekoso wo nim de ekoso ochina de beto na se wa yare na nyame aye adom na ne ho ato na sa komo we de na me mpopo sa anko kasa yi na afi yan komo ne se eba ne se ne de na to plane so de na bantinka yenye de ne fa ne ma
so bana ne ho ato na
abna tinka yenye de ne fa ne ma
okay ama mame na se any ebra wanya dia mama no pa bibi wod ma be kan twa to a
ai da make twa to ne se
me last question what
na obi kire se
me se me fa me last question
obefa flight no agisi wenya de odware wo mu a on pay normal chartered flight o opedi obetimi adware wo mu ene na ye benchmark a ye de fast flight man yese bibi ye no yese wa yare o for everyday traveling all year round in a country na ya haircuts ama pensioners elusio musika in a country na manfo ensuo efa manfo esu eweli obisi me de mentimi ndware mo ama me de betimi because anye flight bia na otimi anye charter flight bia na otimi dware mu
but maybe some say
no charter flight keke
no dey but the vice president dey buy ya dey say private jet and dey won ya we
me can't miss yasem me show
me too
eno kra no abena emu dey na obisa questions wo obisa ahin how many questions were asked on it
ya bisa bebre just be na wo
enti me wan say ya mami ayari na ne ho ato no wafa flight aba ye ndware mo enye yie nso ye bo ho nkomo ya na emi wan kakra
but no na normal flight
ye de bo techira ya yemfa mboba
binti de bo ma na han so ye bi say the questions are you posing ma wo no
e bi ma Pratt no pen e bi sa so wa yare aba nti nka oba no tinka onye de no mra
mate de na me say me no ebewie no the chief justice ya suspend investigation ekoso ho sensem bebre no people were expecting at least enka advice edina no ebetum bi
nti nka on circumvent the rule of law. Is that what we are requiring her to do? Yeah, expecting to say, and there are institutions. There's a reason why we have organs of state: judiciary, legislative, the executive. Separation of powers. My law lectures. Separation of powers in yakasa keke, in yakasa tra. There's a reason why proponents to say AV dicey. A theory say separation of powers here. Obi andi ni lane mu. Obi anya na adwuma. So we be interfere in we ya ehun so ye ntimi nka. Nti say judiciary ye na adwuma se de mrachre say ye mandated. So munyo adwuma abena yesterday vice president kono ko circumventive process no. San ko won na ye be bua no pay.
Me too.
Manwesi
medase ama Pratt na yene no ekasa ye no wakasa ema omampani abedi Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajeman nti na ye pese ye hunu de ekoso office ho adwuma wo mo aye so far the past 7 months ene ye ho entoto ye ama Pratt ne ba ya yede no adisa enkomo yede o esi na before se be